Dude, the Fed's not going to end. It's not going to end. Not voluntarily, and certainly not politically. It's not going to end because you elect some stupid fucking messiah or somebody you think is going to end the Fed for you. That's not how the Fed ends. The Fed has to end because it's forced to, right? Because the dollar collapses. That's the only way the Fed ends. It won't end any other way. So this idea that, I get the sentiment of everybody out there screaming, end the Fed, end the Fed. Like, dude, I get it. I say it repeatedly, but just screaming end the Fed that isn't an idea. That's not a plan. I don't know of anybody out there that has a plan. I have presented a plan on many occasions, and none of you like it because it would actually work. It's a workable plan, but then all the illusion of wealth goes away for a lot of people. There's a bunch of bankers, brokers, boomers, billionaires, and bullshit that goes away when you actually do a plan that is successful in collapsing the U.S. dollar. Again, like I said, it's the only way the Fed goes away is with the dollar collapse. And that'll take down about 75 to 80 other countries. I mean, like a lot of other countries go down with it. So, no, the Fed's not going to just end. You're like, dude, and the orange messiah is not going to just wake up one morning and say, okay, we're putting an end to the Fed and we're putting an end to usury. We're putting an end to, which, by the way, lending money to, lending fake money at interest is the definition of pure usury because there's nothing of any actual value that has changed hands there. So, no, the orange messiah is not going to wake up one morning and just go end the Fed. This is not going to happen because it would take down too many other problems. So, and a chief among them would be, how do you deal with the labor issue? Because then how do companies pay their labor? Well, they have to start paying for labor in hard currency. Now, they could say, well, we're going to switch over to CBDCs. Well, then why get rid of the dollar? The dollar is a CBDC in all but name. I mean, most dollars are digital now anyway. The actual paper money nonsense, this isn't, dude, that's not, come on. That's not even, that's not very much in circulation. No, most of it's digital. So it's a CBDC in all but name. So just screaming end the Fed over and over again is not a plan. That's just the slaves whining, right? An actual plan is what I proposed on many occasions, dude. Force your politicians and all your virtue signaling, cuck fags out there. Start pushing those assholes and start saying, all right, let's go ahead and raise that minimum wage to $750 an hour. You're not doing that to solve poverty. I've said that on many fucking occasions. You're not trying to solve poverty with that. What you're doing is you're collapsing the dollar. You're just destroying the currency, which also means that a whole bunch of illegals and a whole bunch of work visas all leave the country. Because the only reason they're here in many cases is because the dollar has more spending power in their country, respectively. So, I mean, again, it's just like when you guys start screaming end the Fed over and over, it's like you sound like just a bunch of whining kids. You don't have a plan. You understand the difference between just screaming something over and over and over versus actually having a plan and saying, okay, well, I mean, all you people out there that are virtue signaling, it's time to put up or shut up. And it's why there's so many virtue signalers that absolutely hate me, because I say put up or shut up. Let's actually do something about this. And they don't want to do anything about that because they're waiting on Jesus or something. It's why Christians aren't respectable people anymore. They're just not. I have not met too many Christians that are respectable people. There's people out there that I like and I think are good folks, but they're not really respectable because there's like nobody. Why would anybody fear them? They're harmless, right? There's a difference between being peaceful and being harmless. And a bunch of people out there, you guys are fucking harmless. You got no teeth. You've been emasculated completely. Nobody's out there screaming like, where are we not getting rid of all the gun laws? That should have been like a day one thing. But nope, your orange messiah fucked you on that too. So, I mean, you guys keep getting, just fucking ass rammed by this fucking orange dildo. And nothing. And a third of the population will hate the Supreme cunts. A third of the population will hate the Congress. And a third of the population will hate the orange fucking douchebag. That's exactly what they want. Keep it there. Keep people just moving back and forth, and no actual solutions. I've said this on many occasions. It's the MAGAvention people. All you fucking MAGAvention people that, like, you people need a MAGAvention. The Orange Messiah is not going to do shit for you until you start pushing the matter, start pressing it, and saying, okay, listen to me, you orange fuckstick. Get your shit together, you fucking cocksucker, and start ending this shit. Like, right now. As in, no more executive order bullshit. No, dude, why don't you start firing motherfuckers? Why haven't you fired 90% of the fucking Pentagon? Because you're a fucking pussy. And you're in on this shit. You're either in on it or you're incompetent. Either way, it's a problem. Right? Yeah, I know I'm hardcore about this shit. I've been a boss too fucking long. I've been in business too goddamn long. And I have real experience. And real experience makes you fucking bitter. You take the good with the bad on that one. That's why my personality is what it is. When you deal with people who actually have real experience, they tend to get really, they tend to become, they turn into me. They become complete fucking assholes because they put up with this shit for too fucking long. And they watch this shit. And they watch you guys dick the fucking dog. You people have dicked the dog so fucking long, you should be like knee deep in fucking puppies at this point. Fucking pussies.